Have you ever wondered how animals, from insects to humans, create their young ones? Today, we are diving into an exciting journey to discover how animals, just like us, bring new life into the world. Let us begin by understanding what is reproduction. Reproduction is the biological process by which living organisms produce new individuals of the same kind of like making a copy, but not always an exact one. Let's explore this in detail. There are two main modes of reproduction: asexual and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is like a solo mission, involving only one parent. Gametes are not produced and the offspring, or baby animals, are pretty much identical to their parent. On the other hand, sexual reproduction involves two parents, and gametes are produced in this method. And the offsprings have variations. Now, let's learn about sexual reproduction. In the world of animals, including humans, there are special parts that play a big role in making babies. Males have testes that make tiny cells called sperm, and females have ovaries that produce eggs. When a sperm and an egg join together, they form what's called a zygote, which can grow into a new individual. It's like the very first step of becoming a person. Let's talk about how males are designed for this process. They have these tubes called sperm ducts that carry sperm from the testes to the urethra during a process called ejaculation. The testes are super important because they produce sperm and testosterone, male sex hormones that affect the way bodies develop. And the penis has two jobs. It is used for both the elimination of urine from the body and the delivery of sperm for sexual reproduction. Even though sperms are super tiny, they have three parts: a head, a middle piece, and a tail. Despite their small size, each sperm is a whole cell capable of making a baby when it joins an egg. Imagine, such a tiny thing can start the creation of a new life. Now, let's see how females are designed for this process. They have something called the ovaries, where the eggs, or ova, are made. The uterus is where a fertilized egg implants and grows into a fetus during pregnancy. The oviduct, or fallopian tube, a passageway for eggs from the ovaries to the uterus and provides the site for fertilization by the sperm. Now, when sperm cells come into contact with an egg, one of them may unite with the egg, a process known as fertilization. This is the very beginning of becoming a baby. Now, fertilization is of two types. Some animals have babies by fertilization happening inside the female's body, which we call internal fertilization. Others do it outside the female's body, in the environment, and that's called external fertilization. Examples of internal fertilization are humans and monkeys. An example of external fertilization is a fish. Now, let's see the development of an embryo. Fertilization creates a zygote, turning into an embryo. The zygote divides, forming a bunch of cells that come together to shape different body parts. This developing structure, called an embryo, is placed in the uterus wall for further growth. The embryo grows inside the uterus, developing hands, legs, head, eyes, and ears. Once all body parts are recognizable, it becomes a fetus. When the fetus finishes growing, the mother gives birth to the baby. Now, animals can be viviparous or oviparous. The animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Those animals that lay eggs are called oviparous animals. Every animal, from the moment it's born or hatched, starts growing. For example, a frog goes through a wild journey from being an egg to a tadpole, then a tadpole with legs, until it finally becomes a froglet and then an adult frog. Remember when we talked about asexual reproduction? It's that mode of reproduction in which only a single parent is needed. An example of asexual reproduction is something called budding, seen in creatures like Hydra. A hydra grows a little bump, called a bud. This bud grows and becomes mature, which eventually becomes a whole new hydra and separates from the parent. Another example of asexual reproduction is binary fission, what an amoeba does. It splits itself into two by dividing its nucleus and cytoplasm, creating two amoebas. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your school exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for class 8. Thank you.